Your body is not a temple. It's a beautifully chaotic piece of software running on 50,000-year-old code. Right now, your brain is crunching billions of data packets per second just to keep your reality looking stable. But the code leaks, memory gets rewritten, time gets edited, and some of your functions were written for fish. Tonight, we log 15 of these glitches. The second that freezes when you look at it.
The demon that pins you to your own bed.
And the back door in your head that turns kind people into monsters. 15 errors in the human firmware. By the end of this scan, you'll know you were never broken. You're just unpatched. You learn one rare new word, and suddenly it's everywhere. Billboards, podcasts, 3 group chats in one day. Did the world change? No, your brain's search engine just dragged that word out of background noise and pinned it to top priority. Same world, new ranking. Science calls it the frequency illusion. The nickname came from a reader in 1994 who heard about the obscure Baader-Meinhof gang twice in one day and couldn't believe the odds. Want to feel the bug live? Remember the word loop. We wired it into this video's script. From this second, your brain will flag every hit. Count them. Next bug you can catch red-handed. Glance at a ticking clock. The very first second hangs. Longer than all the others. Every single time. Here's the dirty secret. Every time your eyes jump, you go briefly blind, and the brain cuts the smeared, useless frame out of the footage. Then it patches the hole with the next sharp frame, pasted backwards in time. That first tick feels long because, officially, it started in the past. Don't trust me? Test it. Eyes on the red hand. Look away, and snap back. This edit loop runs about 3 times every second. Add up the deleted frames, and you're functionally blind for roughly 40 minutes a day. Quick memory check. The Monopoly Man, the rich uncle from the board game. Does he wear a monocle? Yes or no? He never had one, ever. If you clearly saw that monocle, congratulations, you just caught your own brain manufacturing a memory. It's called the Mandela effect, after the millions who clearly remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. He walked out in 1990 and became president. Because memory is not a recording, it's a live document. Every recall loops the file through a rewrite, stamped with today's mood and other people's words. 1,000 resaves later, entire crowds share the same corrupted file. The Berenstein Bears? Sorry, it was always Berenstein. Darth Vader never said, "Luke, I am your father." Snow White's queen never said, "Mirror, mirror." Check your own sectors tonight. Your turn. Pikachu's tail, black tip or pure yellow? Answer in the comments first, Google second, and prepare to fight. Somewhere out there, a stranger is walking around wearing your exact face. That's not a horror movie, that's arithmetic. Face geometry runs on a limited set of sliders. Eye spacing, jaw curve, nose width. Run 8 billion characters through one generator, and it starts recycling assets. And this bug has teeth. Richard Jones spent 17 years in prison for a crime committed by a man with his face. The collision fooled a jury. Reality module logged. But the strangest errors don't run in daylight. They wait for you to close your eyes. "7 a.m. You get up, brush your teeth, pour the coffee, and wake up in your bed again. It was a rerun. Welcome to the boot loop. Your brain launches the wake-up sequence, but never actually starts the body. So the graphics engine renders a fake morning inside the dream, a virtual machine. And the loop can nest. People report false awakenings 5, even 10 layers deep. Each morning rendered more convincing than the last. Lucid dreamers found the patch. Read any text twice. In a dream, the letters rewrite themselves between glances. Text is expensive to render. The exact moment you drift off, the show begins. Spirals, faces, geometry, or a bang loud enough to sit you upright. That never happened. Your senses power down one by one, but the brain keeps rendering. With the filters offline, its own electrical static gets drawn as sights and sounds. That phantom bang even has an official diagnosis: exploding head syndrome. Completely harmless, absolutely terrifying, weirdly common. And that full-body jolt right before sleep, the one where you fall? The brain misreads relaxing muscles as free fall and slams the brakes. 3 a.m., your eyes open. The room is real, every detail, and you cannot move a single finger. Something is standing in the corner. During dreams, the brainstem chemically locks your muscles so you don't act out the nightmare. Sleep paralysis is that lock releasing late. Your consciousness booted first, and the fear module, wide awake with zero data, renders the intruder for you. Every culture in history drew the same demon. The patch. Don't fight your arms, they're offline. Wiggle your eyes, blink hard. Eye drivers load first, and the lock snaps open. Now stop sleeping entirely. 24 hours in, you react like a drunk driver. 48, your hands shake. 72, reality itself starts unraveling. The famous record is 11 days. A 17-year-old named Randy Gardner. By day 5, he watched fog roll around people. By day 11, he couldn't finish a sentence. Because sleep is when spinal fluid literally washes your brain, flushing out the day's metabolic junk. Skip the wash, and the junk floods the system. Then the system defends itself. Micro-sleeps. 2-second forced reboots with your eyes wide open. Possibly at your desk. Possibly on the highway. Sleep module logged. But some errors run far deeper than one bad night. Module 3 is code so old, it remembers when you had gills. Hiccups do absolutely nothing for you. Zero function. They're an inheritance from an ancestor who breathed through gills. The spasm rides a reflex loop we still share with tadpoles, the same ancient circuit that once slammed the gills shut while breathing water. And the circuit can jam. Charles Osborne of Iowa hiccuped non-stop from 1922 to 1990. 68 years. An estimated 430 million hicks. Every folk cure, the scare, the sugar, the held breath, is the same hack. Flood that stuck circuit with a louder signal. Sometimes it even works. Slide a finger into a newborn's palm. The grip is instant and shockingly strong. Some newborns can briefly hang, holding their own weight. That's the palmar grasp reflex, survival code from when mom had fur, and letting go meant falling out of the tree. There's no fur left to hold. But the feature was never deleted, just archived. It goes dormant around month 6 and waits. 2 more deprecated assets: wisdom teeth that wreck your jaw from the inside, and an appendix that can randomly decide to kill you. The old build needed the hardware. Raw roots and tough meat demand a huge jaw with extra grinders in the back. Then the diet patch shipped. Fire, cooking, soft food. The jaw shrank in the update, but the blueprint still orders 32 teeth. The wild part, evolution is fixing it live. Millions of people are now born with no wisdom teeth at all. You might be running the newer build. Old hardware is annoying, but survivable. The darkest bugs aren't in your body at all. They're in the protocol between people. And Bug 12 has let people die on crowded streets. If you collapse on a street with 50 witnesses, you are statistically less likely to get help than with just one. 50 helpers is worse than one. The lab numbers are brutal. Alone with a victim, people help 85% of the time. In a group of 5, 31. Your social firmware assumes some other node will handle the exception. The somebody help packet gets split across every witness, and no one's share clears the action threshold. But the exploit works in reverse. In trouble? Don't shout help. Point at one person. You. Red jacket. Call an ambulance. You just gave the packet a single address. 1961. Yale. A scientist in a lab coat orders volunteers to shock a screaming stranger. Question. How many ordinary people went all the way to the lethal maximum? 5%? 30? 65? 65%. 2 out of 3 regular people. Psychiatrists had predicted 1 in 1,000. They sweated. They protested. They begged to stop. The lab coat calmly said, "The experiment requires that you continue." And they pressed again. Because our social firmware ships with a back door. Whoever reads as authority gets root access and can overwrite moral protocols marked "Do Not Touch." The only known defense is knowing the exploit exists. People who've heard of Milgram disobey sooner. Congratulations, you just installed the patch. You're at the crosswalk, mashing the button like it owes you money. Bad news, it probably isn't connected to anything. New York audited its own hardware. Of 3,200 pedestrian buttons, over 2,500 were dead. The lights run on timers. The buttons stayed as pacifiers. Same with most door close buttons, and plenty of office thermostats. It's a dummy loop. Press, feel in charge, calm down. Your brain hates helplessness more than it hates lies. One error left. Number 15 is different. It's the bug you caught tonight, watching this exact video. And there is no uninstall. The curse of knowledge. The moment you truly learn something, you lose the ability to imagine not knowing it, permanently. Stanford proved it with a children's song. Tappers drummed a tune and guessed half the listeners would name it. Reality? 2.5%. The melody only played inside their heads. And it already happened to you. The Monopoly monocle. The dead crosswalk button. Try to feel how it felt to believe. You can't. The database won't roll back. Oh, and remember the word we planted? Since that moment, it ran through the script exactly 6 more times. If you caught them all, your frequency filter is tuned now. You're welcome. 15 glitches. Reality, sleep, ancient code, the human network, and one bug that watches itself. Diagnostic complete. You're not broken. You're a beautifully complex machine running code nobody ever patched. And tonight, you read your own source. The next diagnostic is already on your screen. Click it.